Welcome to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss, the podcast for busy professionals who want to plan unforgettable trips without the stress. If you're craving adventure, relaxation, or cultural immersion, but feel overwhelmed where to start, this is the show for you. Each week, we dive into travel tips, expert strategies, and actionable advice to help you save time, money, and hassle while helping you design your dream trip. From group getaways to romantic escapes to adventure packed journeys and budget friendly tips, we cover it all. I'm Ross, your host and travel enthusiast, with over a decade of experience balancing a demanding career while also planning trips to over 25 cities in Europe, all over the US, Central America, the Caribbean, and beyond. I've mastered the art of stress free planning, and I'm here to help you do the same. If you love what you hear, don't forget to follow the show, leave us a review, as well as share it with a fellow traveler. I want to make your next adventure the easiest and most memorable yet. Now, on with the show. Welcome back to World Travel Made Easy with Itinerary Boss. I'm excited to kick off our credit card points and miles series where we're going to walk you through everything from why are credit cards a game changer for travel to just unlocking points and miles, best credit cards to get started with. We're also going to handle all objections and walk you through all of our lessons learned, and then just take you through that journey of how to then use points and miles. So, wanted to walk you through this because it's the main questions that we get from our audience. And we always like to just say, what if your flight to Europe, to Greece, right? Hotels in Bali, your honeymoon flights to Thailand, or just if you want to go on a single family vacation or easy weekend trips in the US could all just be paid for by using your credit card the right way. So I've gotten the chance to dive into rewards, travel, points, and miles since 2014 when I opened up my first Barclay World Arrival MasterCard to see really how this can really take your travel to the next level. Being a busy corporate professional traveling since 2016, got to get into the rewards programs from hotels, all the main ones, started to earn points there, to then just the different airlines. And this really helped just start to learn, what are points and miles? What are those rewards? It did not get started with getting all the different credit cards, starting to learn that way. It was starting small, and being able to then over time pay for flights using different airline miles, whether that was American living in Charlotte, whether that was United living in the DC Dulles area. So just getting started there and then learning the possibilities with staying at hotels for travel, being part of those rewards programs as a busy professional, which led into free nights. The challenge was is not wanting to stay and travel that much, and then figuring out how to strategically do that and earn points and miles. And I think for the everyday person who isn't on the road 5 days a week, who doesn't want to stay in hotels, that is really what this is, who this is for. This is who I really want to help out, and make it super simple. So I think a lot of the times people think that you have to have all these different credit cards. And when you get started out, it's really just starting out with one. And just a personal story would be traveling for work, and then having the American Airlines, opening the American Airlines credit card and having three flights for three separate vacations paid for by using those and only spending $1 on that to get the 65,000 AA Advantage miles. That is a real life story that really can help just from a beginner standpoint. A recent success story that we had was saving over $19,000 on our honeymoon vacation, which was through business class flights, which was through free hotel stays using points at Hyatt and IHG and other hotels. And those are more advanced strategies, but want to show the different possibilities of that and different ways that people can start to earn. Like I had mentioned, are through rewards. If you travel a lot for work, or if you're just have an alliance to one of the main hotels that you like staying at, having a co-branded card can be a good way to do that. And then each time you stay there, you book it on that card, as well as you get a certain number of points each time you spend $1 at those stays. For example, if you have the Hyatt co-branded one, you get 9 times the points for each of those. If you have the IHG, you get 26 times the points for each dollar spent. For Marriott, you'll get 14 times the points on one of their cards. So those are some co-branded cards. You also have other ones where those that have transferable miles, which are your bigger banks that you can check out on our website, and we offer free one-on-one consultations to help kind of guide you through what that personally looks like. But also thinking about, what do you like to spend your money on, whether that's you're a family that spends it all on dining and groceries. There's specific cards like the American Express Gold Card that's really good for that. If you like to travel a lot, or you just want an everyday spending card, you have different cards through Capital One. And then there are other good options that have good welcome offers once you spend a certain amount in the introductory period. So thinking about through those, and we're going to dive into more specifics in future episodes. And then if you're a business owner, thinking about, okay, I spend money on, whether it's supplies, whether it's advertising, whether it's just any other expense, right? Thinking about how much you spend. And there are business credit cards, and you don't have to be a massive business, right? If you're just getting started out, starting a business, if you're a freelancer, there's options there. So there's a lot of just easy introductory options for your different lifestyle. And, why are these valuable, right? Because, you're spending money every day, earning miles and points through those purchases each day, right? You're going to make the most of those dollars spent. So going back to, where do you spend most of those dollars is going to be important. There's, welcome offers when you sign up for a card. So, for example, you could spend $3,000, $4,000 in the first 3 months, and then get 75,000 miles that can be used towards travel. And we're going to get into in future episodes, why that isn't the $750 statement credit that you're probably used to seeing or booking through the portal, right? There's different strategies that you can use that are going to get you 3, 4, 5 times that. That's really going to get you starting to save money. So those, there's accelerators on different types of spends. So some cards have 2 times the points on every, dollar spent. Some have 3 times the points on travel and dining. Some have 4 times the points on restaurants and dining. And then there's some that have, 5, 10 times the points when you book through the portal. And those are, that's how you start to accumulate points and miles that then help you travel pretty much for free, other than some taxes and fees. So that's the possibility. When you have some of those co-branded cards, or you start to earn some of the status, which sometimes with cards, like I had mentioned earlier, for hotels or airlines, you start to get some of those upgrades. You start to get different perks through different partner through the different hotels or flights. So that's going to be key, especially when you start to travel more, or you want to have more flexibility with your schedule. Those are going to be key. And then things that people don't think about a lot of the times when they ask, and we're going to have a deeper dive into this topic where we give you more and more examples, but are annual fees worth it? So things like built-in travel insurance for protection, so lost luggage, trip interruptions, rental car protection, those things are included in some cards, which we can help give you guidance on if those are things you're looking for. But those are the type of things that a lot of the times you don't see it from a surface level. You just see the annual fee, and then different things like lounge access. That's when you start to think about the different perks you get, lounge access is huge. I mean, think about if you go to the airport, how much money they charge just for a sandwich or a water, right? If you're going to the airport a good amount, paying that annual fee, and you get to go to the lounge each time. There's at over 1,700 airports throughout the world. Like, that's going to save you significant amounts of dollars. I mean, just for example, on our honeymoon when we were in Thailand and Bali could go to any of those lounges, get free food whenever we travel, right? Thinking about that. And then there's also specific, bank card lounges and specific airports that if you have those cards, you get access to. So those type of savings are great, as well as if you like to travel, overseas to foreign countries, different things like foreign transaction fees. So those are some of the main highlights and top things, we want to highlight from just a game changer and some of the possibilities. I think the biggest concern and why people and growing up, right, I thought the same thing, right? Credit cards are bad, debt is bad, which yes, if you're listening to this and you have a spending problem, if you are in debt, this is not a strategy you should be using. You should be getting that in order first. But if you know how to financially plan, if you're spending money solely on your debit card and not maximizing these things and you're wanting to get more in, right? Like making sure you use this responsibly, you're paying those in full each month, those statement balances, paying them off. This works only if you aren't carrying a balance. So if you are, it's not worth the juice is not worth the squeeze if you're going to be then paying those 20, 30% interest rates, right? The points don't outweigh that. So this only works for people who are paying down that balance, are using this in a strategic way. Some people may say, I don't spend that much, right? You may be earlier in your 20s, you may be just fresh out of college or whatever that may be, and you may not have a lot of spend, but one, it helps build up your credit in a good way. And two, sometimes there's cards that offer welcome offers where you spend $500 to $1,000 in the first 3 months. So just think of, your everyday expenses, grocery, gas, bills, and over time, the, expenses may accumulate a little bit more, but that way you learn from the beginning. And there's a lot of beginner friendly cards that can really help. So that's where we can come in and help. We have a full page on our website that you can check out that kind of gives you our personal favorites. And it outlines everything about the cards, annual fees, what are there introductory periods where you may not have to, pay or what are some of the welcome offers that you get, what are our personal favorites and everything in between. So if you're curious, don't worry about signing up today. I want you to go on this path with us. I want you to stay tuned to all the episodes we have coming out. I'm going to walk you through exactly which card might best fit you. And then once you have more information, right, we're happy to be that, expert who's been doing this 10 plus years to have a one-on-one consult with you, look at your specific needs, where are you spending and what are your financial goals, and then can help and travel goals, and then can really help you from there. So stay tuned for next week. We're going to be talking about which credit card is right for you, diving into that beginner's guide. We'll walk through a little bit on our website of what that looks like, and make sure you give us a follow, subscribe wherever you get your podcast, and give us a 5-star review. That is how we reach more people, how we help more people travel for less, make it more affordable, attainable. And if you're, already aware of credit cards, you're just trying to learn a little bit more about points and miles, we also offer a free resource it's in the show notes on our website called the Points and Miles Cheat Sheet, where that's going to get you started. And then you'll be a part of our weekly newsletter that is always highlighting specific use cases, podcast episodes, everything coming right to your inbox. So you aren't having to stay up to date and follow everything along on social media. You really just get the most important information delivered to your inbox weekly. So we'll look forward to talking to you here next week. Thanks again for joining.